What is up, guys? Welcome back. If you watched the last video, you would know that we went to the track and we had a couple things we had to address afterwards. If you didn't watch that video, go check it out. It was sick. Lots of action, lots of passes being made. And if you're new here, subscribe. Go check my channel. Maybe check some videos out, then subscribe. Drop a comment down below. I reply to almost every comment. Really try to do that. So I'm gonna jump into it. So race truck, not 100% right now, but we're gonna get it there. I got some plans. We got some parts over in a box over there. Mainly doing some head stuff, head gasket stuff. Got a street race I might be attending this weekend if I get this thing going, and the weekend after that is Truck Mania, so I really want to have it done for that. So I'm gonna get tearing this thing down, and we can start getting some of these things fixed up and make sure we're ready to roll. So I'm pulling the head off because I have this, a couple boxes over here. Oh, be careful with this one. Yep, Hamilton cams, what's in here? This is more foam. Look at that. Stage 3 head. Got it a couple months ago, actually. And I wasn't gonna put it on. I'm building a new engine, so I just been kind of collecting parts and I was saving it for that. But since this needs a head gasket and I have that sitting there, why not throw it on? I'm just gonna throw the head on. Not gonna do any other stuff I was gonna do. Should flow a little better, maybe make a little bit more power. So we're gonna give it a try for at least the next couple weeks. Hopefully a fresh gasket will hold. So I'm gonna start by getting some of this stuff out of the way just to make it easier to work on that. I was thinking about pulling the whole clip off. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. Just the more I look at it, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just gonna start somewhere and we'll see where we go. Got a few things disconnected, upper radiator hose, drained the coolant, got this guy loose, and ripped the 2 primaries off for the triples. Just pull the whole unit off. Don't even gotta unhook anything. Just undo the brace, oil lines, drain, and the V-band, and just lift the whole unit up. Good thing it's not painted because it's kind of hit her. So when I get this thing shiny, it's gonna have to be more careful. But that's what's nice about the way it is now. You can just freaking work on it. You don't gotta worry about anything. But someday I will have to worry about that. So I'm gonna probably get this charger off, get these pipes all out, and start getting injector lines off, valve covers, start getting this head will be ready to come off. So I just weighed the whole triple setup here from downpipe to turbos and every piece, and it is 74 pounds. So I'm gonna ask you guys, is it worth it to keep the triples for the 70 extra pounds, or just go big single with some nitrous, save 70 pounds? You know, so it's one of those things you got to think about. But fuel only, it's definitely going to make more power with the triples and be a lot more drivable. So I don't know, they're cool. But 70 pounds, it's good to know how much they add, how much we could lose if we just went to a single. Just kind of been blasting through this, getting this whole thing torn down. GoPro's about to die and I don't have a charger, so I just wanted to make sure I could film as far as I went. So injector lines were off. I mean, everything's off. Pulling the injectors out, and I figured I'd show you guys a little tip. Got one more injector to pull out. And if you have a 12 valve and need to pull the injectors out, you might already know this, but if you're new to them, maybe you don't. So instead of getting an injector puller tool, you can just get a piece of 3/4 inch PVC and cut it. It's about an inch and a quarter. I just kind of eyeballed it. And a washer, and then a nut. I'm using a Castle nut, but a lot of people use lug nuts, and it's just like, I'm not sure what the thread is, but like a 3/4 inch lug nut normally fits. And you can just take it, set it over the top of the injector like that, throw your washer on, and thread that, and then you just start tightening it up, and it'll just slowly pull the injector out, and then you're all good. Just like that. So all the studs are out, rocker pedestals are out, push rods. Just had 2 studs, had a couple that were stubborn, but these 2 are really stubborn. And the studs are just stuck, they don't want to come out. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna lift the head off. I should be able to clear these, and then I'll get some vice grips down lower so I don't mess up the threads, and I'll get these studs out. But I gotta get the toilet moved out of the shop so I can wheel the cherry picker in. Then we'll get this thing hooked up, lift the head off. Then we can assess the damage to the head gasket if there is any, which I'm pretty sure there is. But that's to be expected. I'm actually really happy with how long this head gasket has lasted. I think it's been on here 4 years, maybe more. And tons of rolling burnouts and smashing when it was in the brown truck. You know, low 11-second passes there, nitrous. And then in the race truck, tons of race hits, street hits, nitrous, 125 pounds of boost with ARP 425s or 2000s, whatever you call them. And an O-ring head gasket, and this thing never really failed. And honestly, it didn't fail that bad, just had a little oil coming out, but it was time to do it. So we're gonna get this head off and we'll see. All right, there it is. The head is off. I haven't really looked at the pistons, but the ones I see look to be okay. And you can definitely see the oil seal there was broken and it was running all down around here. So honestly, it wasn't that bad of a blown head gasket, but it definitely was time to be changed. I don't know, how does that piston look? I can't see it. You guys are seeing it before I am. You can see where it's spraying a little outside of the bowl there, but that's what happens when you have high timing. Got the Hamilton head up here. Just gonna throw a couple coats of some black paint on it, try to keep it from getting all rusty like the raw metal will. So I'm gonna get it wiped down, throw the valve covers on to cover this stuff up, and spray it. Head's all painted. Got the block cleaned up decent. Don't have any vice grips, so tomorrow I'm gonna grab some vice grips, get those studs out, try to get the gasket set on, the head set on, and kind of start buttoning some things up. I may need some more gaskets and things like that. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of forget everything you need until you start doing it. So hopefully I'll get everything I need tomorrow and then come back out here and just try to get it done. I'd like to get it to fire up and get a hot retorque, and that's when I feel like we're good. Then putting the rest of the stuff on is no problem. So we'll catch back up tomorrow. The last two studs are out. Got the head gasket with the fire rings in there and the head sitting here. Getting ready to set her on down. Let's hope she'll hold. The new Hamilton head is sitting down on the block, and I felt it drop down on the lineup dowels, and I hope I got it set on the fire rings just right, but I set the rings in the gasket. They have like almost no movement in the head on the lineup dowels, so I'm pretty certain it's all in there, but it's kind of nervous because you can't see it. You just gotta hope it's all in there, and it looks like it's sitting flat. So next up, I'm gonna get some anti-seize on the studs so they don't get stuck like the other ones did. I'm gonna get all the new 625s because I'm going from ARP 2000s to 625s, so I'm gonna get all those in, and we'll start getting them kind of torqued down, and then we can fire it up. Head is on, got the studs in, tighten them down, and then when the quarter turned back out so they're nice and loose, not bottomed out, getting ready to throw some lube on the nuts and washers and get them on. But first, we got to get our push rods and rocker assemblies put on, and for that, we got the old push rods here, but we're not going to use those because we got a fresh set of Hamilton heavy duty push rods. I wasn't going to use them yet, but might as well. These springs I think have a little more tension than my old valve springs, so nice to have the right push rods. So I'm going to get these put in and we'll keep rolling. Head is on, injectors are in, injector return lines are on, head's torque, valves are adjusted. Got the 467 on the manifold. That way I can fire it up because I had it hooked up, but I wanted to make sure that it was, the oil would run through it and wasn't gonna pour all over the ground. Also got the oil line for one of the triples looped. So we should be able to fire it up, let it get warm and do a hot retorque. Just gotta put the injection lines on, do something with my belt that's hanging here, and we should be able to fire it and let it get hot. So prior to that tomorrow, come out here, fire it up, let it get nice and warm, retorque it, make sure it sounds like everything's running good. And then I gotta swap over all the fittings, coolant sensor, coolant fittings, thermostat, intake plate, all the little things that are pretty easy, but just wanna make sure everything's good before we do all that work in case we gotta pull anything back apart. So I'll check back in tomorrow. I went ahead and pulled off my intake plate here and look at this gasket. Blown out here. Looks like that's actually been like that for a while. So huge boost leak there. These were blown out, that's cracked. So who knows how much this was letting out, but I got a new gasket now for the new head. I'm gonna get this tightened down, so that should help. So it looks like there's gonna be a lot of little things that are gonna, that we're contributing to, or not contributing, but they weren't helping the cause. So getting all these little things fixed, plus the new head, we should be doing good. So I'm actually pretty excited. I'm getting ready to bleed. I got everything back together essentially to run. Turbo on, thermostat, got the belt back on so it's not flopping. It's really dark right now because I had to steal the light. But I got these lines loose. I'm gonna bleed the air out of them. And then once I get fuel coming, I'm gonna see if it'll fire up. We're gonna let it, as long as it runs good, we're gonna let it get warm. Got the temp gun, see how hot it gets, and then we'll do a hot retorque. So last time we checked in, we were getting ready to bleed the air and fire it up. So here's where we're at now. What? That's not good. It's a little, we've been going. I've been frustrated and I just haven't filmed because what's going on. But anyways, it wasn't firing, wasn't doing anything. It sounded like it was blowing air out of the intake. Something seemed right. Checked the valves. They were all adjusted right. Anyways, we did a compression test where we put air in the cylinders and it was coming right out the exhaust. So the valves, we took it apart and it looks like the valves, when they did the machining, and it wasn't right. So the valves aren't sealing in the brand new head, which really sucks. Had it all together, been trying to start it. Ether, nothing, wouldn't do anything. So I'm supposed to go do some just little street racing tonight. So I want to get it running. So it looks like the old head is going back on. I just ran to the parts store, got a stock head gasket, and we're gonna get this one cleaned up. We're gonna get it put back on. Essentially back where we started. Got the stock head back on, everything torque tightened up. We're gonna see if she'll fire up. Injector lines aren't bled all the way, but there she goes. Woo! Well, we tried to do a hot retorque and broke a stud. So now trying to fix that. Always one thing after another. We ain't quitting.
Blue on blue.
Well, still got a broken stud. We don't even care anymore. Got the turb skis on, got the old pipers on. We're Gorilla Gluing the stud in just so it looks nice. We're just gonna run it and we're gonna blow this head gasket to pieces, but better than sitting at home. That way, next week you guys can watch me do this haul again. 5 minutes. Just kidding. Oh,
thanks, Hamilton.
But we're gonna go street racing. So that's probably it for this video. I'm gonna try to clear this SD card and we'll see you out there. All right, so that was last night. We went out and did some racing. As you can see, I mean, they're just some of my buddies and there's just some street cars. Nothing real serious, so really wasn't fair. It's kind of like bringing a knife to a gunfight for them. But anyways, went out there and won, obviously. And I got his cool little trophy, whatever. But yeah, it was fun. Just better to go out there and do something. We thrashed all day just to get it running, so I figured I might as well go do something with it. Looking like I'm gonna have some more work to do before Truck Mania though. So there'll be a video on that probably sooner than later. But if you like this video, drop a comment down below, like, subscribe if you're not already. We'll see you guys on the next one.